Going. All right, so I'm going to kick it over to Amanda Wilwert, then one of our conference organizers, to tell you all a little bit about overall theme of the conference this year.
Good, I guess, afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this kind of inaugural virtual rollout of our program. We're really excited this year to again be back in person. Lauren and I at least kind of sort of know what we are doing this year for a live in-person conference. And so, you know, she and I are both incredibly excited to roll out this year's theme and to get us all started. So, you know, something that is kind of instilled in my life, and I think in Lauren's too, is this idea of service before self. You know, this idea of integrity and excellence in the things that we do. And so the theme for this year's conference is, the large overall theme is service. A quote that really spoke to us and our program chairs, Aaron and Christine, is a quote by Chief Tecumseh, where it's "seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of your people." The quote is much longer than that, but that is really the theme that has driven this year's conference. And we're excited to have that as the overarching purpose for the things that we do at QA, of this idea of service. Again, the Lynnsburg conference this year, a new item, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there before we get into the deep dark depths of the program, is we will not be doing paper registration this year. A save the date will be going out with our theme and the program and all that kind of fun stuff, but there will be a link for the online registration. So all registration will be online. Please don't send Lauren or I checks for registration, please. But we're really excited for this year's conference. And I think with that, because what we all look forward to is, of course, the amazing programming that we get over the conference. And I will be the first to always say our program chairs have the hardest job of the entire Lynnsburg conference. And I could not be more thrilled with the work that Aaron and Christine have done in putting together a fabulous program that I will then kick it over to them to talk about.
Erin, are you unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
Can I have a quick question about that, Amanda? Gabriel Thompson. Yeah, she sent an email on the listserv saying that she was having problems with the website. And I just checked with her to find out if she got an answer, and she never did get an answer. And her issue was using an iPad, which is all she ever uses, does not interface well at all with the website. So somebody would probably have to help her get a access to a PC or something.
Or in exceptional circumstances, maybe we'll work with them on getting the registration. Maybe if she can call me or something, and I can process it on my PC while she gives me the information or something like that. We'll certainly work with those people that are having issues with the registration. To be clear, the registration is not live yet. So that could also be an issue, is if the registration isn't live yet, there's nothing to register for. But we will, you know, if people are having issues registering online, we will work with them to make sure that they can register.
Okay, Erin, are you unmuted?
I am unmuted and ready.
Good afternoon, colleagues. This co-chairing process with Erin Good has just been the most wonderful experience. Erin says she thinks that we're in a codependent relationship. And so with that announcement, Erin, you do the screen share.
I will do it. Yes. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're really excited to roll out. Kristen Wheeler thanked us. I'm going to thank Kristen. This was her awesome idea to do kind of a live launch. You know, it's our like Oscar nomination process. Christine and I, when service was kind of the direction, what we really looked for in programming was, how do we embed service into all we're doing? You know, at whatever kind of moment of life we're sitting in front of, we have an opportunity to serve our client, to serve our community members, to serve our fellow CLAW members. And, you know, how can we just weave that into all of the offerings and really think about that? So I will screen share the conference schedule. So we have a lot to offer. We're going to kick things off with the Appellate All-Star Review, and I know we've got Judge Klein on to share a little bit about what that's going to look like here. And then one of the things we're really excited about is we had so much interest in just so much great programming that on Thursday and Friday, you're going to have 4 selections with every breakout schedule, or with every breakout session. We've got a lot of great, just kind of meaty knowledge. We've got Tara Eberline coming to talk about employment law again. She was here several years ago and just did an awesome job. For those of you who are interested in mediation and resolution, Diane Sorensen and Kathy Perkins are coming this year. In our theme of service, we've got Amy Bites coming to talk about how, what about our service members and their family members and our veterans? What can we do? Caitlin Allegrera is coming. She is with the Washburn University Foundation. She's going to come talk about giving. What does that look like, both as you're advising clients who might be giving gifts, or even just us as professionals and members of the community who might be giving gifts. What does that look like? And what's the best way to do that? Christine, do you want to talk a little bit about the kind of impact litigation panels that will be happening on Friday?
So in developing the grid, there are always the mainstays that everybody is after. The Appellate All-Star Roadshow is a rock solid mainstay. You know, ethics from the Disciplinary Administrator's Office is a mainstay. But in the programming committee, it's so much fun. You know, I would encourage everybody to get involved in this committee next year. What's everybody talking about? What's new out there? What do people want to hear about? And so just, you know, scanning through what's going on, there's been some serious impact litigation on the part of the Kansas ACLU with Sharon Brett and Teresa Woody from Kansas Appleseed. And so I called them up, and they are going to do a presentation on what they've been working on and why, kind of give a current status of the litigation that they've been involved in. Some of us are older colleagues. And so as we transition into other phases of our careers, we wanted to hear more about that. So moving through your legal career with Brenda Bell, Danielle Hall, Jill Gillette, and Martha Hodge-Smith is about transitions, really, from all kinds of places. Amanda Marino and Marisol Garcia in Wichita. There's news and adoption, and Marisol's a young lawyer who interned for us at LawMo, and I'm so excited to involve her. Breaking the mold, old-fashioned advocacy in new places. Everybody told me, go get Jay Hall to talk about something, whatever it is that he wants to talk about, as general counsel for League of the Kansas Municipalities. So he has some fun things that he's done, but this is something that he has a passion for. It's advocacy when you're talking to a commission meeting, the legislature, a nonprofit, and he's got great remarks about that. The listserv is a fantastic thing, colleagues, and sometimes, whether it's on the listserv or Facebook, when the constitutional amendments were blowing up, Melissa Wangerman posted a lengthy post on Facebook that got so much positive traffic. And so we just called her up and said, hey, would you like to talk about that? And it's basically when a constitutional amendment is proposed by the legislature for the voters to vote on, what the heck do the rest of the people not know, and that we as lawyers should know about? Joe Molina on a legislative recap. That's kind of a legislative recap is a common one. Amanda Stanley. It's not time, but is this a good time for Amanda to give a blurb?
I'm
Yeah,
happy
we can roll with it and go out of order. I'm good with you know, my vision of this was that it would be sort of like the conference, that
Okay.
we would get our business done, but we would do it in a fun and relaxed way. So yeah, Amanda, if you want to give
Well,
us a little
sure.
shout out.
Sure. Well, I was asked today to give you just a brief teaser to get you interested about my topic. So mine is all about GPS chipping your employees, the Fourth Amendment issues, the employment law issues. It sounds far-fetched. It is not far-fetched now. You can microchip yourself to unlock your car, to start your car, to open your house. It is becoming very common in countries across Europe and is beginning to have more prevalence in the United States. So I'm a city attorney. I care about the Constitution a lot. So you're going to hear a lot about how all the constitutional issues with that. But for those of you that are not government attorneys, I'll also be hitting on some of the privacy issues, some of the state laws that are being introduced to limit the requirements that employers can GPS chip. So if you want to come hear about how technology is going to take over our lives, come to GPS chipping.
The last one in this section, we talked about impact litigation in Kansas by Kansas ACLU and Kansas Appleseed. And so on the flip side, I wanted to do something from the governmental point of view. So I reached out to the AG's office and to the Sedgwick County DA's office, because I knew that they had done some work with the RICO Act in state district courts, which is very unusual. So Mandy Shove, one of the assistant district attorneys in Sedgwick, is going to talk about that. But Judge Tony Powell, who is now Solicitor General for Attorney General Chris Kobach, I called him up and I said, you know, this is an unusual crowd for you, but here's what we're doing. And he was delighted and gracious and polite. And he's going to come and talk about some of the litigations that's going on in the AG's office, and probably a lot about, you know, what is the scope of the AG's office in terms of appeals and what he's doing now. Then we move on into Mark Dupree and Jean Peters Baker. I heard Mark and Jean present at my Inns of Court in Kansas City, and it was just wonderful. And Mark, you're on the call, and I'm so glad that you are. Would you give a brief blurb about what you and Jean Peters Baker, the Kansas City prosecutor, are going to talk about?
Yes, I can. And good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to see all of you and to speak to you. So as a prosecutor, the United States Supreme Court said in 1935 that a prosecutor is indeed a peculiar and very definite sense, the servant of the law, the twofold aim of which is that guilt shall not escape or innocent suffer. He may prosecute with earnestness and vigor indeed. He should do so, but while he may strike hard blows, he is not at liberty to strike foul ones. That is the essence of what we're going to be talking about. Both Jean and I have dealt with quite a bit of wrongful convictions. And the court says that as much as you find foul blows, the prosecutor must then do its part in remedying that issue. I've dealt with Lamont McIntyre, who spent 23 years in prison, and then Jean over there has fought real hard to, one, get the law changed so that Missouri innocent folks who are locked up in custody can get free. But then more importantly, they fought for one of the longest serving inmates who have served 43 years in prison. And Jean is going to be touching on that while I touch on creating the first conviction integrity unit in the state of Kansas. And I don't know if this is a great opportunity to throw out here the keynote speaker that's going to be coming up. Can I do that right now? Because
Please.
I'm getting hit now.
Let's do it.
Please do.
All right, I'm going to throw it out there because, again, as a prosecutor, I think a lot of times people think that all we do is lock people up. And this is one of the grand opportunities where we get to free individuals who actually did not do the crime and they were in there wrongfully. And this year's one of the keynote speakers is going to be the first ever U.S. Attorney who is not only amazing and a graduate of Yale Law School, but she's the first female U.S. district attorney. Kate Brubacher is going to come, and she was the hands-on person over there in Missouri concerning the Kevin Strickland case, and I've met and talked with her. Yes, she's brilliant, you know, and I told her, hey, Washburn is the Yale of the Midwest, but whatever. But she has the title, she has the philosophy, the divinity, and she is great at what she's doing, and she is going to come top it all off as we talk about. She's going to cover the federal, and so I'm excited to be a part of this, and I'm excited to sit and listen as Kate gives her part as well. Thanks for this opportunity, folks. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Mark, so much. You know, colleagues, when we were working on programming and I connected with Mark, it's one of those things where one conversation leads to another. And the programming committee was going down some amazing rabbit holes on keynotes, but I knew about Kate. And when I Googled her, you know, undergraduate in philosophy and religious studies at Stanford, Yale Law, Master of Arts in Religious Studies, Divinity School. She comes from a Mennonite farming background in North Newton. And so that has led her to some missionary work in Ghana and Liberia. And when I reached out to her with a soft introduction from Mark, thank you so much, I told her, you know, my gosh, your service to people in the legal profession just sing of the theme that we're going for. Would you kindly agree to be our keynote? And she said, oh, I'm so charmed by this theme and the whole qua vibe. This is one of the first invitations I've had to be a keynote speaker. What should I talk about? I have no idea. Whatever you want to, U.S. Attorney Brubaker. So she's coming, and thank you so much, Mark, for the lead.
Absolutely. So we're so thrilled for that news. And thank you. Yes, thank you for coming and sharing with us, Mark. I'll just kind of run through some of the programs we've got. Friday afternoon, Christy Campbell has put together an awesome team of Marilyn Harp, Chelsea Anderson, Joy Springfield, and Andy Elmore to talk about some of the amazing work they've been doing, removing criminal charges, helping folks get that off their record and move on with their life after they've you know, done their time and paid. One of the next sessions is one that I had a lot of fun helping coordinate, and Kate Simpson, I don't know if she's on, but she was a huge assistance with this too. We've got Growing a Diverse Bar. This is going to be kind of a fireside chat discussion between three different folks who have been helping think about how can we really grow a diverse bar and retain a diverse bar here in Kansas, which is just frankly a problem we have. So we have Marisol Garcia from Wichita is going to talk about the Grow Your Own Lawyer program, which connects high school students to law firms and governmental agencies and others to just learn about and get an introduction as high schoolers to the law. And then we've got Jamila Jefferson Jones and Jordan Carter from KU Law. They are going to talk about the Douglas County Diversity Initiative, which places current KU Law students in kind of fellowship to work in law firms and governmental agencies. And then we have Judge Jennifer Jones coming from Wichita, municipal court judge, who oversees the Waller Fellowship in Wichita, which looks at kind of brand new lawyers, funding them, helping them do work in areas where they are impacting underrepresented communities. So, so kind of different stages of life and career development, and how can we make impact, and the goal being hopefully attendees can walk away with some thoughts on how they could do this in their own communities and practices too. We've got some new federal court rules. We've got Judge Teresa James, Judge Rachel Schwartz, and Judge Mitchell coming to talk about what's been happening with our federal courts. And then we've got Michelle McCormick coming to talk about the VAWA updates. There have been some significant updates in the Violence Against Women Act and the implications that those have on those who serve victims of domestic and sexual violence. Whitney, do you want to talk a little bit about the plenary we're going to have Friday afternoon?
Sure, I can talk about that. So I got this idea, I basically stole this idea from Sherry Wattenberger, who did a similar program for the Bankruptcy Institute in Kansas City. We're bringing together a panel of folks to who kind of represent various underrepresented groups to talk about how they encounter bias in the world. And they will be partnered with their ally of choice, whoever has been an ally for them or an ally for just generally for their underrepresented group, to talk about how they are an ally for that group as that group encounters bias in the world. It should be for ethics credit. We've asked for ethics credit. I know that Sherry was able to get that when she did it for the Bankruptcy Institute. And I'm really looking forward to it. We've got Danielle Hall, Nicole Revenaugh, and Cleotha Daniels are panelists, and we still actually have a few people that we're going to fill in there as allies as well, but it's going to come together and be just a fantastic program. I'm really looking forward to it. And so thanks for making this a priority for the conference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you'll want to stick around on Saturday too. We've got a great offering of sessions as well. We've got Jennifer Wieland coming to talk about celebrity trials. Everyone loves a little celebrity gossip, right? So she's going to catch us up on what happened with the Depp and Heard trial. Bankruptcy, this is Casey is going to come talk about kind of, maybe you're not a bankruptcy attorney, but you're a family law attorney and you've got a client that's going through a bankruptcy. How does that impact you? What do you need to know? Christine, do you want to talk about a little about Jennifer White and Shannon Wilson? Yeah.
Earlier in the session, there's going to be a presentation by Larkin Walsh of Sharp Law Firm in Kansas City that does significant class action work with on behalf of victims, Olympic athletes who have been sexually abused. So civil remedies under the Trafficking and Victim and Protection Act. So a flip side to on the criminal aspect, Shannon Wilson, one of the senior prosecutors in the Sedgwick County DA's office, and Jennifer White, who's the executive director of ICT SOS, a major grassroots victim support for the criminal trafficking cases that go on. So as a contrast to the civil trafficking remedies, Jennifer and Shannon are going to talk about human trafficking in the criminal arena and how many different areas of the law those criminal cases impact. Family law, PFAs, divorce, custody, you name it.
Awesome. Yep. And then we've got Jocelyn coming to talk about advising rural clients on business operations. I'm going to pause on Angel Zimmerman's presentation. She's going to introduce that. We've got, I didn't realize this, we've got another Angel Ramiro is also coming to talk about nonprofit mergers. And then kind of rounding us out on our breakouts, we have a group coming, David Brown, DC Hygard, and Ellen Bertels coming to talk about queerness and transness in the law. This has been an enormous subject in both the federal and state law for us this year. So they're going to catch us up on what's happening and what we need to know. Russ Bryn is coming to talk about gaming law and kind of tribal law and the impacts that those have, which I think is a really interesting area for us to know about here at Kansas. And then we've got a group coming to talk about the Rural Justice Initiative and kind of how we, as QA members, can help with the great work that Justice Lukert and the Rural Justice Initiative group is doing. So that is it. If Judge Klein is still on, I want to pass it. Yes, I want to pass it back to Judge Klein to make sure we give her a chance to pitch the Appellate All-Star preview.
Hey, no problem. Let me get in a costume because as everybody mentioned, the other thing about Lynchburg is that it's really fun. And so as you all know, I mean, Justice Ginsburg was famous for her collars. So we on the Court of Appeals, now that we are a majority of women, are trying to figure out what's going to be our signature. And this month we're trying out superhero masks. So I thought I would use mine to talk about the perennial fan favorite is coming back to kick off the conference. I'm going to be joined by several fellow lady judges and justices to recount the changes to the Kansas common law that have been issued or that's happened with decisions that we have issued in the past year. And in addition to that, we're going to intermix several fun facts. So you definitely need to get to Lindsberg early. So for example, you'll get to see one of Judge Coble's famous Halloween costumes. Find out which Harry floats Judge Karen Arnold Berger's Love Boat, or find out who Justice Standridge was fangirling over as a child. So we're going to mix all of those things in so you can stay up to date professionally and also learn a lot about us judges. So please, we're going to kick off the conference with just as much fun as you all have come to expect, and it's going to continue throughout the whole conference until noon on Saturday. So we're very excited to see everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Judge Klein. So you got to get there. That's the first session. So you got to get there Thursday afternoon, right?
Yes, and now I'm going to fly off to another meeting. So I will see you all then.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Erin, I want to, on the grid that we shared, it says, this is ethics. It doesn't say how much is on there. That will be on the master schedule in the program. But I wanted to point out that we've submitted for both Kansas CLE and Missouri CLE. Everything's submitted. The Missouri MOBAR approved all of our requests, and MOBAR has different categories than Kansas. MOBAR has ethics, regular CLE, and implicit bias training. Everything that we asked for was approved. Kansas has ethics, regular CLE, and law practice management. And we've submitted to Kansas CLE, but everything's pending, but we expect a good outcome there too. Just wanted to tell everybody that.
Yep, absolutely. And if you come, you'll get your full, kind of assuming everything's approved as we hope and think it will be, you'll get your full ethics hour, you'll get your full 12 hours that you need for the year. So you'll start off your year good to go in compliance. All right, so shall I play the video from Angel? All right, so Angel Zimmerman unfortunately wasn't able to be here, but in true Angel fashion, put together an amazing video for us to play. You might need to turn up your volumes a little bit. I don't know how to do that on my end, but I will share and get that going.
Hey, good afternoon, Qua Sisters in Law. Lindsberg looks like it's an awesome lineup again this year. It doesn't look like I'm going to get to join you for your Zoom teaser today, but I'm glad to get to be able to share a couple items with you. First, we're going to again offer our Saturday morning Bias Buster Breakfast Club. So join us for some great new reads, or feel free to bring some of the titles and quotes that you have been reading in this area. I'm super excited to get to share this particular book with you. We are also going to be handing out some children's bingo boards, or if you can't wait, you can grab your own now at bccsks.com under racial justice. One of the biggest ways that we can help with bias is to learn or unlearn early. As adults, we often default to the books that we have read or were read to us as kids. The world is obviously much bigger than that. We get the privilege of having several Qua sisters who are also authors. Rekha Sharma Crawford has a great book on immigration for kids. She is currently at 41 reviews, so if you are so inclined to do so before Lindsberg, she would love to have your review. We'll also bring several copies of her book to help us out and to help her out on her reviews. Next, a teaser for one of the sessions. Saturday morning will be a panel on Chutes and Ladders on managing partners and firm management. This is a great session for those of you who have your eyes set on managing a firm or getting one of your own someday. It's also a great session for those of us who have been doing it for a while. And lastly, I am already gathering my auction items, so I hope you are too. Here's a couple to preview. Bye, see you in Lindsberg. Be there.
Isn't she incredible? She's the best. Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so I don't need you can certainly keep rolling with it, Erin and Christine, if you want to go through the agenda. But next, after that cute little video by Angel, we've got Betsy Lassiter and Danielle Atchison to talk about an important program production survey, all of the important work that they're doing for women in the profession. So I'm gonna toss it over to them.
Hello, this is Danielle. Betsy's on here as well. We're coming to you from your Public Policy and Gender Committee. And there's 4 of us who've been working on research and building a survey, taking it out to the community to learn what's going on growth, advancement, and retention of women lawyers in Kansas. We have 110 results from the survey so far. We have been doing nationwide research on our industry as well as other professional industries. And we'll be presenting on that at the noon panel, the last CLE of the conference. And the goal is to bring to us basically an exposure of the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to women in the profession. We hope to identify solutions for our CLE watchers to take away. And then we want this to live on for years to come. This is part of the QUA strategic initiative that was approved and voted on at the fall council meeting. And the culmination of that initiative was this presentation. So we're very excited to be on schedule. And while I will not be there because, you know, the theme is service, of course, I'll be serving another bar association that same exact day. Betsy is going to be with her family on a vacation. They couldn't move. We have Rachel Shannon and Jen Ouellette who are going to present to you, and it will be amazing. The goal is to take this further on, to continue to hold roundtables throughout the year in communities which may have not attended the QUA conference. One of the things we identified was when we pushed the survey out, especially to just QUA members, the answers were a little bit biased. We have a certain type of human that's a member of QUA, and we're proud of it, but it's important that we're recognizing the communities that are maybe not QUA members and getting out into those communities. So we'd like to have one of our end goals of that presentation be pairing with district reps for years to come and having roundtables in the communities that maybe are interested in hearing what we have to share. We just FYI, our survey pool is the QUA membership, the KBA membership, Kansas Bar Association, Wichita Bar Association, WAT and Topeka, AWL, Association for Women Lawyers in Greater Kansas City, Johnson County Bar Association, Wyandotte County Bar Association. I think I'm missing one. Oh, the Inn of Court, Early O'Connor Inn of Court. So we have distributed far and wide, and we're very thankful for the opportunity to do this under the QUA name and to present to you guys in July.
Thanks so much, Danielle. I think that we're all excited to hear about the results of that survey. I know I sent my response in, so I hope everybody else has had a chance to see that survey and send your responses. And if you haven't yet, I'm sure Danielle and Betsy would appreciate your feedback. Our next three presenters, I called my dream team on an earlier set of emails, and in true Gay Tibbetts fashion, she told me I needed to dream bigger. But I think I've got a pretty good dream team. Gay Tibbetts, Kathy Webb, and Laura Ice. I am sure that you all know them and love them as we all do. They are going to give us some advice from Lindsberg veterans. I know many of us have been to the conference, but we might have some newbies on the phone, and we might all need some advice in general, even if we are Lindsberg vets ourselves. So Kathy and Laura and Gay, take it away.
Okay, I have the first thing, and I actually have a timer because we promised none of us would talk over a minute and a half. So I'm going to talk about being comfortable, which is somewhat of a challenge in Lindsberg, and particularly if you're staying in the dorms. So if you are someone who is familiar with someone in the military, they have a saying there when they're going on uncomfortable marches, which is embrace the suck. Like, don't fight against it. And that's kind of what you have to do when you're staying in the dorm. Bring your own pillow. Bring your own sheets. They give you paper sheets. I did not know this was a thing until I went to Lindsberg. Bring your own good soaps and good shampoo and all of the kinds of things that will make you feel more comfortable. Bring your own water. I always do that. If I'm hosting one of the speakers, I always make sure that they have water. Bring snacks. Officially, you are not supposed to have alcohol in the dorm. I would never encourage anyone to violate any rules. And yet I've never known anyone to follow that rule, and I've never seen any consequence for violating that rule. So, it's just really important that you bring pillows, blankets, towels, all of the things that are going to make you feel more comfortable and get a good night's sleep. And now that's my timer, and my 1.5 minutes are up.
Okay, it's my turn. Dress camp casual, shorts and t-shirts. It's very hot. We're walking in between buildings. There's no need to put on professional attire. Sometimes on Friday nights, people will go take a shower and dress up a little bit. I don't. I never have time to do that. But if you want to feel a little fresher Friday night, you can dress up just a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Do shop. Lynchburg is an artsy-fartsy place. It's full of galleries and fun gift shops. And there's the Small World Gallery is owned by a National Geographic magazine photographer. Really cool stores. Do introduce yourself to people you don't know, new people. Make sure everyone feels welcome. Don't honor the judges by sitting them in the hot sun for 2 hours. We learned that a few years ago. And finally, you could bring a swimsuit. If you want to slip away for an hour or two, Lynchburg has a pretty fun city pool, and a group of people have been going there for a little bit, and they have a fun slide to go down. That's it.
Okay, segue to my swimming story. Gay wanted me to tell this. If you're going to skip out on the CLE to go swimming, back in the day, that was at the Viking Motel, and your legal assistant might happen to call in. Of course, this wouldn't happen nowadays because cell phones, and my legal assistant would have called me directly, but whoever was taking calls at the conference comes into the CLE and says, does anybody know where Kathy Webb is? And everybody knew I was at the Viking Motel swimming pool. So those are just some fun facts. I think my biggest tip, and this has been touched on by other speakers, go and enjoy every minute of it and get to know as many new people as you can, because some will be lifetime friends. Some will be future colleagues in your firm or adversaries in lawsuits, and some may help you get appointed or elected to the bench. You'll know what I mean in 30 or 40 years. That's it.
Thank you, Gay and Kathy and Laura. I'm sure you all have many more great stories that you could tell, and we might have time to get to some of those later in the afternoon. But I, for one, know I always forget my own hand soap every single year, even though it's on my packing list. And I will say the Small World Gallery, the man that owns that is the nicest, kindest man, and everyone should go shop there if you haven't ever done that before. Okay, next on our list, I have got Kelly Broers. And Kelly, if you are on, she's having a bit of an audio delay, so we'll give her a second. Kelly is going to tell us about some entertainment that she is planning.
Hi.
Go for it, Kelly.
Yeah, Friday night, we listened. It sounded like you all were interested in displaying some of your favorite legal fashions. So now we'll find out if you actually meant that. If you don't, we will pivot, but I'm hoping you all participate. I'm looking forward to it being dynamic and really dependent upon participation, and we're really just looking for about 8 people to have fun and who are capable of poking fun at themselves and providing us all with a little laugh. And we've got some other things that are going to be going on throughout the evening also. So look forward to a sign-up sheet coming out earlier or later this week. I did have somebody who immediately sent me 3 haikus on Friday. I'll let you guess who that is based upon the participation we see on the listserv. You know, who can you guess was the first person to email me? It was Angel, no secret, right? So hope some of you all will sit down and write some haikus also, and looking forward to seeing what you all can come up with. Thanks.
Thanks, Kelly. I think that sounds really fun and exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I do like some of the comments in case you all aren't reading the chat. Bug spray, another good piece of advice for everyone to bring that. I would say sunscreen too, if you're like me and get burnt after about 3 seconds in the sun. And Kelly's tip, TMI, bring more undergarments than you need, or in other words, pack like my grandma. Yes, sweat happens in Lindsborg. So I think that we have made it through our list of presenters. I'm going to throw it back to Amanda and Aaron and Christine to do any last wrap up they want to do. If there are other entertainment options they want to tell us about. And when they're done, we'll open up the floor and we can all share favorite Lindsborg memories, stories, whatever we'd like. So our great conference organizers, any last words for us?
I don't think so. I mean, again, I feel like I've been sitting on a big secret knowing all of the conference schedule and the programming and all this kind of stuff, because it's so exciting to have such a fantastic lineup. And again, all the credit goes to Aaron and Christine. They did a fantastic job. As far as conference planning, I do feel like I need to have a huge shout out now, and I probably will throughout the entire conference, to our conference planner, or whatever we decided to dub Alicia Lang. And I mean, I would not be in this role without her anymore. I probably would have called Whitney in tears at one point in time and said, I can't do this. So she's been a great help in keeping Lauren and I on track and making sure that we're getting everything together for a conference that is 6 weeks away, which is super exciting and also completely overwhelming all at the same time. A couple of events real quick. Don't forget about the solo practice and small firm luncheon. All registrations to that go to Angel, but that will be Thursday. The KU law school reception, they've confirmed they will be in town. The Washburn Law School reception at Old Stuga, I have confirmed that interim Dean Jackson will be present. I am trying to convince him to wear his seersucker suit for the good of all that it is green on this grand earth. So we'll see if he'll accommodate my request. And excited to see some old law school friends there at those receptions. Again, the Heights Fun Run and Lindsborg City Walk will do Friday morning, as we always have. And then our dinner shopping after things conclude on Friday with shopping downtown. We will be doing awards, installation of officers, and of course the entertainment on Friday night. So again, our usual fun social activities, which there's always social activities on the side, that some of which I don't even ever know about. That's probably okay. But again, I think everybody's just looking forward to being in Lindsborg together again. Anything else to add from my fabulous chairs, co-chairs?
You're going to want to be there for the whole thing this year, y'all. I mean, you do every year, but we're kicking it off with the appellate court. You saw how much fun that's going to be with Judge Klein. And then the capstone is going to be the great work that Danielle and Betsy have been doing. And we're all going to drive home thinking about that and inspired for what's to come next year. So plan on the whole thing.
This was great, y'all. Teaser.
This was great, and we have managed to end up almost exactly on schedule for where I thought we might be, where we have about 10 minutes left before 1 o'clock. If anyone wants to share fun Lindsberg stories or what you're looking most forward to this year, just in anything like that, I'm sure that knowing who's on this call, that we've got some good stories out there. So anyone, feel free to take yourself off mute and share if you'd like to.
Hey, Kristen, it's Alicia. Thank you for the compliments. It's been wonderful so far. So I've really enjoyed myself working and organizing everybody. I do want to, we will be staying at the new hall and also the Suites this year, and also the Dromstrut, which was the Country Swedish Inn downtown, also has rooms booked for us. So if anybody is wanting to stay down there, please tell them you're with Qua and that you'll have a room guaranteed for those 2 nights.
Thanks, Alicia. That's really good information. And I think it's very exciting for everybody to have you on board this season as the conference organizer. And I should shout out again to Erin and Christine for putting together such a great program. It's pretty clear the comments in the chat is that everyone is so excited about the programming lineup this year, including me. Anybody else have something fun? I see that there are already dirty limericks going back and forth on the chat. So I can't wait to hear more of those at the live entertainment in Lindsberg. Anybody else have anything else you want to share?
You probably didn't know that Laura Ice was my spouse at one time.
Yeah, and Catherine made a fatal error at the very beginning of our poverty simulation, and we had no transportation, and we starved to death.
And Grandma died.
You might get more stories if this wasn't being recorded.
I can stop the recording if that is inhibiting anybody from sharing.
I liked what Sarah Zafar said, that what happens in Lindsberg stays in Lindsberg.
That's fair enough. I do see, do we know, Amanda, when you expect registration to go live? I don't want to pin you down to a specific date or anything like that.
In a classic, maybe lawyer answer, it's going to depend on a couple different things, but I think we're really close, and hope that it will go live, by next week. We have to remember that our fantastic quasi secretary administrative assistant doesn't work for us 24/7. So we had some emails flying around last night about getting it live, working on getting it live, and so we're any day away from, I think, having it a live link. It will, of course, as soon as it is live, it will go out via our listserv, and then just keep an eye on your mail, because we'll have save the dates that go out as well. But kind of keep checking that Koala website too. But I would say next week is what we're goaling for.
I'm gonna send something out on a listserv. I put together an assortment of funny stories from Lindsberg a couple years ago, and I just found it. So I'll send that out to you.
That'll be great. Anything anybody else is particularly excited about on the programming lineup?
I'm just smiling, my face is swollen shut with poison ivy, but I'm just smiling. This is going to be wonderful.
Christine, we're going to hope your poison ivy's gone away by the time Lindsberg rolls around.
Dear God in heaven, me too. Well, thank you, Kristen, for emceeing this. This was just wonderful.
Thanks. I hope everybody enjoyed it. This is something that if we get good feedback, I hope we'll keep doing it in years to come. And our plan is to put the recording up on our YouTube channel and have a link on the website for anybody who wasn't able to view this in person but still wants to. And I'm sure that Amanda and Aaron and Christine and team will get the agenda, the CLE agenda up somewhere too for anyone who wasn't able to see that today. So I think we will go ahead and sign off and let you all get back to your business, but I hope you enjoyed this little break from the day, the little preview of Lindsberg, and I know I'm really excited to see everybody in a few weeks. We'll see you all later.